This is One on One. Janette Scrozzo is development director of a terrific organization called Covenant House, New Jersey. Covenant House is an international organization, right?
Yes, it is.
Founded
1972.
And you were a little kid, you were 16 years of age in a Catholic high school, and the leader of Covenant House came in, and what happened?
I was really inspired. I remember sitting at the assembly, listening to the founder talk about Covenant House, the plight of homeless kids, and I was really inspired by the young people's courage and resiliency, and I stayed with me for a very, very long time, near and dear to my heart.
And Covenant House mission, describe it.
Our mission is to serve suffering children of the street with absolute respect and unconditional love. Every young person that comes to our doors is welcomed, and we provide food, clothing, and shelter, and then all the necessary services to move kids from homelessness into independence.
You know, we were talking right before we got on the air. There are more kids, young people, who are homeless than ever before.
Correct.
Who are they?
You know, the kids that we're seeing are coming from all over New Jersey. It's just not inclusive to urban kids. They're coming from the suburbs, and of course they're coming from urban communities as well. But they're aged out foster kids. They're kids that have been abused and neglected, kids who haven't had much support from family. But I think the most important thing about those kids when they come through our doors at Covenant House, they have a courage to walk through and say, I'm alone, I'm homeless, and I need help. And those are the kids that we're seeing.
So they come in. I'm looking at the Newark Crisis Center. And by the way, we'll put up the information for Covenant House for people to find a way that they can be helpful. They can contribute money. They can contribute time. What do these young people need?
Well, they need a start. They need a new beginning. Most of the young people prior to coming to Covenant House have been through really insurmountable challenges. They've been living on the street. They've been living in abandoned buildings. They've been living in parks. And what they really need is just someone to give them a helping hand. You know, Covenant House isn't a hand out. It's really a hand up to help kids achieve their goals and their dreams, and to move forward in their lives.
Some of these kids dealing with drugs?
Yeah, I mean, we have kids that have been involved in drugs and gangs.
Human trafficking?
Human trafficking is a big piece.
Describe the human trafficking piece.
So, you know, years ago, most people thought that human trafficking was only foreign internationals, but now what we're seeing is that there's a lot of domestic kids that are trafficked, and there's a direct correlation between homeless kids and human trafficking
Describe
victims.
the trafficking, what that means.
What it means?
It sounds somewhat benign. It's not.
So what we see mostly is kids that have been sexually assaulted, kids that have been honestly bought and sold on our streets, which is hard to imagine that in New Jersey that kids are being, you know, sold for sex, but we're seeing that every day, kids coming to us. A couple of years ago, we did a study in our New York site, and what we identified was that 20% of our kids had been bought and sold on the street. Now what we've done is launch the same study here in New Jersey, and talking to our kids to see what their experiences are.
20% of the kids that have come to you?
Yes.
Bought and sold?
In New Jersey. Mm-hmm. Criminal.
Where are their families?
You know, a lot of their families aren't around. When kids are running away from home, they're running from violence, they're running from abuse there, but
they're sometimes running from their homes.
They're running
their
from
families.
Their homes, yeah. And then what happens is they land on the streets, and they don't realize that it's even going to be worse. And there's people out there that are looking for them, that are looking to pray. Our kids are vulnerable. They don't have that support system. They don't have their families. And that makes them a target for predators that are out there on our streets.
Why don't we talk about these kids?
I don't know why we don't talk about them. I think, you know, people get busy with their own lives, and maybe they don't realize that homelessness or trafficking is a problem in their own communities.
Yeah. So they need mental health.
Absolutely.
Help. They need food. They need shelter. they need a place to feel loved. And by the way, as we put information up, the other thing you said is money matters. It costs about $10 million a year to run Covenant House in this area.
Right, so we have a $10 million budget. We have sites all across New Jersey. We're here in Newark. We have a couple of, our crisis center and then a couple of other programs in the North Ward. But we're also in other cities, Camden, Jersey City, Asbury Park, communities that really need our help, and that's where we are.
You were talking about, is it called Sleeping Out or Sleep Out?
It's our Sleep Out. It's an initiative that's really helped us serve more kids, not only here in New Jersey, but all across the country. So Sleep Out is a great initiative.
We're going to show some pictures of it. Go ahead.
Sure, great. Sleep Out is a great initiative that we started about 5 years ago. Within 6 weeks, we had 50 CEOs agree to sleep outside our shelter in New York City, 41st and 10th, right at the mouth of the Lincoln Tunnel. Yep, there you go.
And why are they sleeping out? By the way, I want to thank our friends at the MCJ Foundation,
they're
who
great
told us a lot about your organization. They're great.
They're great people, great supporters
But here's
of
the
our
thing
work.
I'm curious about. Where's the money in the CEO sleeping out?
So what we ask them to do, we give them a cardboard box, as you see, and a sleeping bag, and they reach out to their family and friends and colleagues and say, I'm sleeping outside for homeless kids so that they don't have to. And it's peer-to-peer fundraising. We set up a website and a portal, and they ask and people give. And so since 5 years ago, we've continued to grow the Sleep Out movement. And we have young professionals sleeping outside for homeless kids. We have moms sleeping outside for homeless kids. And we've raised over $25 million to serve homeless kids.
And Brian Cashman from the Yankees general manager is your...
He's our chair. He sits on our board, another great champion for homeless kids. He sits on our board of Covenant House International, and he's the chair of our executive Sleep Out, which is happening November 17th in New York City. So New Jersey people are sleeping out for the kids in Jersey. The New Yorkers are sleeping out for the kids in New York. And all the funds really help to change lives.
So can talk show hosts participate?
Yeah, I have a sleeping bag with your name on it, Steve.
I'm serious. You could do this.
Of course, you can sleep. It's a great experience. And what's so great about this?
3 seconds. Go ahead.
What's so great about this experience is that it's mission focused. You get to meet our kids. There's great programming, and we know that it's going to give you a glimpse.
We'll keep plugging off the air.
Okay.
You do great work, and we'll sleep.
Okay.
Out.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJIT has been provided by TD Bank, PSE&G, RWJ Barnabas Health, the Fidelco Group, the North Ward Center, Prudential Financial's Global Communications Department, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJIT has been produced in cooperation with FiOS One News.